Okay, so after the Bruce Boudreau firing, which is probably the biggest news of the entire day, we did have like a 2-3 minute video reviewing about that. But today I'm gonna go in more depth at the end of this video since more stuff on the article has been released and an actual NHL article has been released on Bruce Boudreau being fired. So we're gonna talk about that at the end of the video. Until then, we got some things we gotta talk about. So first thing, Zach Kassian waives in-person hearing. The phone hearing is set for 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you watch the Hockey Guys video, he has it for 1 p.m. Pacific. But since I live in Pennsylvania, we're doing Eastern time here. So 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll make a certain video because like pretty much right after pretty much like 15 minutes after the hearing is gonna start, I'm making a career video on Mario Lemieux. So I'm gonna do that, and then a video is gonna come up once the hearing is announced, an actual NHL article comes out, and all that. For all that, so Ray Ferraro said that it's gonna be like an 8 to 10 game, and using a skate as a weapon is kind of expected. I expect it to be in that kind of range. I mean, I don't expect it to be like 20, 25 game suspension. I expect it to be like 8 to 10 games, maybe a fine, maybe like a big fine, like not like a tiny fine, just like the Chara fine. So yeah. The next one is for the Maple Leafs. Andreas Janssen has his knee surgery is out 8 weeks which is 2 months at least. So he's more or less out for the rest of the season because there's literally not even 2 months left in the season. There's this month, then there's March, and then there's like a little bit of April, and that's it. That's it. The season is pretty much done. All that there is after that is the playoffs. So if Toronto makes the playoffs, he'll come back to play for the playoffs. But I think he's done for the regular season. And Toronto has been hit with injuries a lot, so it's just that's going to be one of the reasons why if they miss the playoffs, that will be one of the reasons because they just keep missing the playoffs. And we have another update on Baumeister. We did talk about him in the game review last night, and we also talked about him in its own video with the Blues Ducks game this postponed, and I got into a kind of a rant, I guess. And yeah, so he had a defibrillator implanted because he has cardiac. I'm not too sure what that means, so we're not going to spend too much time on that. He did get it implanted. I hope he's going to do okay. His heart's not in rhythm, which is probably not good. Well, it's not good. So, yeah, best of luck to him. I hope he gets better. That might be the end of his career. I don't know if he's going to come back. I mean, I'm sure he'll come back and finish the season. But after that, he's done, son. So, next up, Zach Bogosian, however you say it, has been placed on waivers by the Sabres. See, that rhymes. And I saw it coming. Zach Bogosian is not the best player in the league. He's probably one of the worst players in the Buffalo Sabres. So I won't be surprised he's waived. If he gets cleared, he'll go down to the AHL. And to be honest, he's probably is going to clear. I don't think anyone wants Bogosian, however the heck you say it. I don't think anyone wants him. Anyways, the next thing, Borowiecki. This is the final thing before we get into the Bruce Boudreau firing and go more in depth with that. Mark Borowiecki for the Senators is on an ankle injury. Now, this guy did save someone back when all those Babcock allegations were coming out. And he did save someone from someone trying to rob their car. He chased after him. He had the criminal in one hand and the purse in the other hand, and he was a hero. But now he's on an ankle injury. He's pretty much the face of the franchise, and and he's probably gonna leave. I don't know if the Senators are gonna re-sign him. He'll probably go in free agency and head off to a different team like Philly or Arizona or some team like that. Or he might even go at the deadline. Who knows? Simmons won at the deadline. And yeah, I hope any trades happen today. I'll probably take care of those as well. It's gonna be a big video recording day because, yeah. So now that all the news out of the way is now all the news of the day is out of the way pretty much. Let's actually read the NHL article where Boudreau was fired as the Wild's coach and was replaced by Evason. If you put an N between A and S, you have my name. So, Yeah, so Minnesota's 3 points out of the Western Conference wild card race with Arizona. I didn't realize that. I was an idiot and wasn't looking at the thingamajigs, so there you go. Bruce Boudreau was fired as the coach of the Minnesota Wild on Friday and was replaced by assistant Dean Evanson. So I was wrong. The AHL coach didn't really do anything. The Wild, which are 27, 23, and 7, are 3 points behind the Arizona Coyotes for the second wild card spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs from the Western Conference. Minnesota is 7-3-1 in the past 11 games, but lost 4-3 to the Rangers in a shootout on Thursday after having a 3-1 lead in the third period. That's just we talked about it last night. Like that's just sad. Like how do you lose like that? It's terrible. Like you go up 3-1, but then they just come back and beat you. It was basically Panarin. Panarin kicked Boudreau out of the team because that's what I said last game. The record, the last 10 has been pretty good. Wild general manager Bill Guerin said there are just some things that I feel need to be better, and Dean is the guy that has a good grasp on that, and he's going to be able to execute it. I feel the guys need a different voicing going forward. Boudreau is 158, 110, 35 in 4 seasons as the Wild coach. Minnesota qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2 of the previous 3 seasons, but never advanced past the first round. The 65-year-old has 567, 302, 115 record in 984 NHL games with the Washington Capitals, Anaheim Ducks, and Wild. I wonder where he's gonna. He might not go anywhere next because he is a legacy of failure. In a decision like this, it's never just one thing, Guerin said. I just felt the same timing was right. Last night was a game we should have won. I would like to thank Bruce for his hard work and commitment in Minnesota Wild during his tenure with the organization. We wish him and his family the best in the future, Wild general manager Bill Guerin said. Evanson had been the assistant coach of the Wild since the start of the 2018-19 season. Prior to that, he was a 55-year-old coach of the Milwaukee of the American Hockey League, it wasn't Milwaukee Brewers I think it was the Admirals of the American Hockey League for 5 seasons with a record of 242, 161, and 53. Was an assistant coach from the Capitals from 2005 to 2012. He worked under Boudreau with the Capitals from 2007 to 2012. At the conclusion of the season, he will conduct a full search for a new head coach. Or we will conduct a full search for a new head coach, Guerin said. Dean's name will be in here, but we will do a full search of people we need to find can handle this job. Now, I think if Minnesota comes back and makes the playoffs, I do think that Dean will probably stay with the team. I don't see him going anywhere if that happens. So, a former forward, Evanson had 372 points, 139 goals, 233 assists in 803 games through 13 NHL seasons with the Capitals, Hartford Whalers, San Jose Sharks, Dallas Stars, and Calgary Flames from 1983 through 1996. Now, 3 of those teams have actually fired their coaches this year, so that's pretty cool. He goes at the game and has played, and the aggressive has done a lot of passion and emotion, Guerin said. I have a lot of confidence in him. This is the 8th coaching change in the NHL this season. If you add the assistant coach Kevin McCarthy for the Predators, and you had Ray Shero for the GM with the Devils, you literally have 10 different staff changes in the entire thing. So this is the 8th coaching change in the NHL season. In addition to Boudreau, Gerard Gallant was fired by the Vegas Golden Knights on January 15th and replaced by Peter DeBoer, who was fired by the San Jose Sharks on December 11th. Peter Laviolette was fired by the Nashville Predators on January 7th. Jim Montgomery was fired by the Stars on December 10th. Rick Ballinas replaced him. Hins was fired by the New Jersey Devils on December 3rd. Alain Nasreddine replaced him. Babcock was fired as the Toronto Maple Leafs on November 20th. Sheldon Keefe replaced him. Bill Peters resigned as Flames coach November 29th. Geoff Ward replaced him. So there you go. That's news of the day. It looks like a coach, at least one coach, since November has been fired. So I wonder if they're going to keep that up. I wonder if the coach is going to get fired in March. Not Toronto. Detroit might be probably the runner. Might probably be the number 1 candidate. I don't know why they're not firing Jeff Blashill. Like all these other coaches are getting fired in Detroit, and Detroit's just sitting there like, wonderful. This is just awesome. So yeah, that'll be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. If you all did enjoy, please like, subscribe. We are getting a lot of subs. We're almost at 40 subscribers. I'd like to thank you guys for that. and I will see you guys in the next one.